interest rate, whatever it is, then that is haram. Riba al-fadl, when people used to trade silver with gold or gold with silver, try to make profits in the transactions themselves. The haram, truly, the essence of the fiqh or illat al-hukm comes from the fact that you're not producing any economic activity. When the person lent me the money as a Muslim brother and became equity or partner sharing with me, you know what? We went out there, started a factory, bought raw materials, hired people, went out there, produced economic activity that benefited us and benefited everyone that we deal with. The riba, the way they do it, because I am rich, my money makes me money while I'm sitting down. And I am like a leech or a parasite on top of the people that borrow and go and make the economic activity. So that is the illah of the hukm. Now we come to the credit cards. And we're not assuming that any of us here, inshallah, that have fell into riba, but if you did fall into riba, then you need to know that. And if you did not fall into riba, please learn and teach other people, Muslims or non-Muslims. At the end of the day, riba, when it's rampant in society, even though you're not dealing with it, it'll come and hurt you. Like the job opportunities are less, like the value of our houses, even though it's fully paid, are less because we are in a society that is rampant in riba. So fight riba and fight that haram as much as you can. The way is easy. The technique is easy and it makes sense. When I told you, you would say to yourself, how come I didn't think of that before? But the point is the consistency and the sincerity. The shart of tawbah, there's 5 conditions of tawbah that will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That you regret it, that you swear and you have it in your heart that you're not going to repeat it again, that you actually do not do it again, and in the future you'll not do it, and at the end, inshallah, you make that tawbah not at the, when one is passing away, or when the sun rises from the west, not from the east. So the first condition of tawbah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless your money and you rest that you vow, I'll never borrow with riba, credit cards, department stores cards, personal cards, whatever it is, ever again. That is the condition. Now, here's the way. Number 1. The good news is that your credit card payments are relative to your income. You'll never find credit card companies lend someone with a $50,000 income and they're going to go lend them $1 million. So if you're making your payments right now, that is relevant to your income. And if we do not do what we're going to do, inshallah, then you can keep making your payment and they're going to keep enslaving you, paying the thing 6-fold or 5-fold till the whole thing is paid after whatever time. Why is that good news? All we need is that you give us a break. What does that mean? We want you to get a list of all the credit cards that count, all the personal accounts, everything that you pay interest with, and make a list of them. We don't care what is the interest rate. We don't care what kind of credit cards or what kind of personal accounts. All we care about is the balances. You bring me the bigger balance and then the smaller until we get to the smallest balance. Here's what we need to do. All we need is to save something monthly that you can save out of your expending. A lot of people say, you know what, whatever that I make, I spend my children, my family, and the payments, and there's no room. There's always a room. All we need, even to start with $50, $40, the bigger the better. How? I eat once a month outside. Do not eat once a month outside. That's the $20 or $40 you save. I buy my meals or my lunch from outside. No, cook it at home, prepare sandwiches at home, whatever it is, and take it with you. You have your insurance, car insurance. You know what, the deductible, let's say it's $1,000, meaning that, or $500. When I have an accident, I'll pay only $500, and then the insurance company will pay the rest. Call the insurance company, tell them I want my deductible to be $2,500. Most of us, inshallah, do not have accidents. When you raise that deductible, all of a sudden your insurance that you pay would go down significantly. That would save you a lot of money over the year. The coffee that you buy outside, whatever it is that clothes, even some people came with a very creative thing. He said, you know what, my heating bill is like $200, $300 a month. I'll put an extra layer of clothes and I'll put, blankets on top of myself, and I will turn down the heat, and I'll save $100 a month. And it's doable and it's not haram. The haram is riba. Wearing extra clothes is not haram. There's a million ways that you save money, as little as $50. Let's say we save $50. Now what we do, we get a list, we already vowed with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we'll get out of riba, we're not going to do it again. The smallest account, let's say, it has a minimum payment of $40. What we're going to do, the $50 that we now save a month, we're going to add it to that $40. So now we're paying what? $90. And all of a sudden, the magic starts to happen. What is the magic? They tell you what? The interest rate is 6%. Especially in mortgages. Oh, 6% a year, that's low interest rate. No, it's compounded interest. Every year, the 100 becomes 106, and they take the 106 and charge 6% on it, and then the following amount, and so on and so forth, to the limit that when you buy a house for $200,000, on a 6% after 30 years, at the end of the 30-year mortgage, you'd have paid 3 times that house. You'd have paid $600,000. Why? Compound interest. That's how they make money. You asked Einstein one time, what is the most powerful force in the universe? He said compound interest. And it's true. They made money out of thin air. So when you pay that $50 extra on top of the 40, not only that you reduce that balance by $50, but you stopped it from the compounded interest they have charged on that $50 every month and every year. So all of a sudden, the account that would have been paid in 3-4 years, all of a sudden, it's paid in 5-6 months. And we start with the smallest account. And you keep doing it. You know what? You're paying these bills anyway. So you do the same thing, the same life, you just save that $50 a month. And now instead of paying $40 a month, we pay now $90 a month. So, 5-6 months, all of a sudden that account is fully paid. What we do, Shaitan will come to you. Now come on, you paid it, you have $90 a month, why didn't you get that brand new thing, or that bigger plasma TV, or this fan that doesn't know? Nothing with riba again. What would I do? Now I have the $90, I go to the next account. The next account had maybe a minimum payment of $70. I add the $90 to the $70. Now I have $160 of payments to pay the second account. That account will be paid off maybe in 3-4 months, maybe 6 months, depending on the balance. Few months that passes by, like all the months that passed by, and you paying, and we were enslaving, being enslaved for that, subhanAllah, now you have $170 to apply to the next payment, and so on and so forth. In a record period of time, not only that you're going to have all the account paid off, not only that the credit score that people care about so much is going to go through the roof because your balances are being killed, but you're going to find yourself with all the payments that you pay in interest rates and so forth. Some people have like $3,000 or $4,000 in payments a month. Even aside from the mortgages, you have that cash available to you. Now what we do, we go to the biggest nut. If people were afflicted with a mortgage, and I need to speak a little bit about mortgage because in 2005, if you go on YouTube, I have maybe 100 clips about my TV program, about religion in New York. And subhanAllah, we opened the air for people to ask questions. In 2005, at the height of real estate, everyone is calling me. What about buying a house? What about mortgages? What about buying a house? If I got $1 for each one of these questions, I'd have had $1 million by now. And I told everyone, brothers, and it's right there, 2005, but everybody thought that, even someone called me and said, why don't you want Muslims to own houses? Why are you stopping them from owning houses? And I answered, brother, you own nothing. You're enslaved by the bank. The first 5 years, every penny that you put goes directly to interest rates. I know a brother who bought a house for $270,000, 5 years, he made payments of $150,000. His equity increased only $3,000. And people are dying to do that. You know what, I'm going to give you $150,000, and if I die after 5 years, all I've saved is $3,000. And the house, after the end of the 30 years, you have paid threefold. Threefold. What kind of deal is that? People go and negotiate by the $5. But when it comes to the house, no problem. I'll pay threefold. I'll pay $400,000 extra. And the most important thing is that you do not own anything. You miss the payments for 2 months. The third month, they come and foreclose you. It's their house, not your house. You're enslaved for 30 years in that house to pay them threefold. And that's what happens. Some attractions, oh, I want a bigger house, I own the house, and subhanAllah, when you rent, you're not paying property taxes. It's included in your rent, but you're not responsible for it. You know, when you own a house, you're paying for the maintenance, you're paying for the water, you're paying for the sewage, you're paying, you know, for a ton of things, for landscaping that you're not even aware of. So you have it, you can buy it. You don't have it, you don't buy it. They'll take advantage of you, they will enslave you. And ask if the horror stories that we heard in the past 3-4 years, Americans, Muslims or not Muslims, of what happened to them with the real estate. And as a matter of fact, the whole economic downturn started with bad mortgages, and then it escalated to everywhere. I go to the mortgage, and we want to listen carefully here now. The mortgage problem is not that the house is a big purchase, not that the house is 200 or 300 or 400,000. The problem is a very long-term loan. It's 30 years. Why is that very important? Why is that devastating? The 30 years is eternity for compounding. They tell you it's only 5% interest rate, 6%. When you compound that over a large amount for 30 years, that's why you wind up paying $400,000, $500,000 extra. I know some people, they have $500,000 cash now, they would retire, they go back home, and they stop working. But they're willing to give that to the bank. So how would I go about this? Open your monthly statement. Now, with the Obama administration, they put mandate on, lending company and lending institutions that they have to put details of the bill. You're going to find your payment consisting of three things. The cost, which is fire insurance and property taxes and so on and so forth, which is things that you have to pay even if you own the house outright. And then the principal amount, which is the amount, the part of your payment that will go to pay the principal that they charge you interest upon, and the interest amount. Depending at how far are you into the loan. The first 5 years, everything goes to interest, and then start to, bigger parts of the payments go to principal. Then the 5 years